Dub Nation, buckle up, because Jonathan Kuminga's standoff with the Golden State Warriors just reached a boiling point, and the ripple effects could decide the future of this franchise. The 22-year-old forward, drafted 7th overall in 2021, is risking a massive $14 million by rejecting Golden State's 2-year, $45 million extension offer. Why? Because it didn't include the one thing he wants most, a player option for the second year. That single clause has turned negotiations into a high-stakes chess match. Kuminga isn't just another young player. His athleticism, size, and two-way potential have turned heads across the league. Teams like the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings have already tried prying him away with trade offers, but Golden State stood firm, demanding a first-round pick that never came. The Warriors know his value, and that's exactly why they haven't moved him. But here's the dilemma. If Kuminga signs the qualifying offer, he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2026, free to walk away with nothing in return. That decision would cost him $14 million this season, a risky gamble even for a player betting on himself. NBA insider Marcus Thompson too put it bluntly, "I have to believe Kuminga blinks first." Leaving $14 million on the table is a tough call. Meanwhile, Golden State's entire offseason has been frozen by this standoff. Veterans like Gary Payton II, DeAnthony Melton, and even Al Horford are waiting in limbo, while rumors swirl about Jimmy Butler as a possible addition. Ownership, especially Joe Lacob, remains a believer in Kuminga's upside, but the new collective bargaining agreement has made the front office more cautious than ever. This is bigger than money. This is about identity. Kuminga is one of the last real building blocks for the post-Curry era. If the Warriors lose him, they don't just lose a player, they lose their bridge to the future. Golden State's entire roster plan is essentially frozen until Jonathan Kuminga's future is resolved. The 22-year-old forward is at the center of a standoff that could reshape not only this offseason but the Warriors' long-term direction. Reports say Kuminga is seriously weighing the bold move of signing the one-year, $7.9 million qualifying offer. Doing so would give him full control as an unrestricted free agent in 2026, but at the cost of leaving $14 million on the table compared to the 2-year, $45 million extension the Warriors have offered. For Golden State, this could be a nightmare. Accepting the qualifying offer would strip the team of trade leverage and open the door for Kuminga to walk away for nothing next summer. For Kuminga, however, it might be a calculated bet, short-term sacrifice for long-term freedom and potentially a much bigger payday. His camp has made it clear, the absence of flexibility in the Warriors' offer, specifically no player option in year 2, is the deal-breaker. Trade rumors have swirled, with the Suns and Kings showing real interest, but Golden State rejected those calls without a first-round pick on the table, a clear sign of how highly they still value him. Inside the locker room, teammates back him, praising his potential. But fans are split. Some see him as the future, while others view his stance as unreasonable. The truth is, Kuminga is more than just another young piece. He's the bridge between Steph Curry's fading prime and the Warriors' uncertain future. And what happens next could define the franchise's next era. Dub Nation, things are getting wild. What started as a restricted free agency negotiation between Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors has turned into one of the most quietly powerful storylines of the entire NBA offseason. And now? It's not just about Kuminga's contract. It's about the ripple effect touching the Sacramento Kings, Russell Westbrook, and even the San Antonio Spurs. Let's start with the Warriors. Golden State's entire roster plan is frozen. Veterans they've eyed, from Gary Payton II to DeAnthony Melton, remain on standby because the front office simply can't move until they know where Kuminga stands. The 22-year-old rejected a 2-year, $45 million extension without a player option, and that's been the breaking point. His camp wants flexibility, while the Warriors want control. The standoff has dragged on for nearly 2 months, leaving both sides frustrated. Here's where it gets even crazier. Sacramento has been the most aggressive suitor in trade talks for Kuminga. According to insiders, the Kings even offered Malik Monk and a protected first-round pick, but Golden State pushed back, unhappy with the protections. The Kings want him bad enough that they've delayed other off-season moves, including their pursuit of Russell Westbrook. Think about that. Westbrook's free agency is literally tied to Kuminga's decision. If Sacramento knows Kuminga is off the table, they'll quickly pivot toward Westbrook, who could bring veteran leadership and explosive energy to a young team on the rise. But here's the problem: under their current cap structure, the Kings can't realistically land both Kuminga and Westbrook. It's one or the other. That's why timing is everything. One domino has to fall before the next can move. For Kuminga, this is a high-stakes gamble. He's considering the $7.9 million qualifying offer, which would give him unrestricted free agency in 2026. But that decision would cost him $14 million in guaranteed money this season. Statistically, he's second only to Stephen Curry in points per 100 possessions for the Warriors, showing how productive he really is. Yet questions about his outside shooting and decision-making keep some executives hesitant to give him the $25 to $30 million annually he reportedly wants. Meanwhile, fans are divided. Some see Kuminga as the future, a rare athletic bridge between the Steph Curry era and whatever comes next. Others believe he hasn't proven enough to justify a hardball stance, especially since he's never locked down a consistent starting role. Inside the locker room, however, his teammates are firmly behind him. And just when you thought the plot couldn't twist any further, here come the San Antonio Spurs. With Victor Wembanyama already dominating, the Spurs drafted Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper in back-to-back years. But after handing De'Aaron Fox a $229 million max extension, San Antonio suddenly has three ball-dominant guards who all need minutes. Some insiders believe Castle could be the odd man out. One floated trade scenario? Castle to Golden State to pair with Curry, reshaping the Warriors' backcourt for years to come. So here's the bottom line: Kuminga's unresolved free agency isn't just shaping Golden State's future. It's holding up Sacramento's pursuit of Westbrook. It's creating ripple effects across the Western Conference. And it could even spark blockbuster trades with the Spurs. As training camp approaches, this saga is no longer just about one player's contract. It's about the future identity of three franchises, and the next era of the NBA itself. The NBA never runs short of wild trade rumors, and one of the juiciest this offseason involved the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. The proposed deal? Spurs send Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle to Golden State in exchange for Brandon Podziemski, Gui Santos, and a top 3 protected 2028 first-round pick. On paper, it's intriguing. In reality, the Spurs saying yes to this trade feels almost impossible. Here's why. Castle just finished a stellar rookie season: 14.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and nearly a steal per game. He's only 20 years old and already looks like a two-way cornerstone with sky-high potential. Spurs fans view him as untouchable, especially alongside Victor Wembanyama. Giving him up this early would risk repeating the mistakes of franchises that let future stars slip away too soon. Now, Podziemski is no slouch. The Warriors guard showed flashes of brilliance as a rookie, proving himself as a high IQ playmaker with a smooth scoring touch. But does he move the needle for San Antonio the way Castle does? Probably not. And defensively, the trade wouldn't solve the Spurs' biggest issues. If San Antonio ever parts with Castle, it'll need to be for a proven superstar who can elevate Wemby's trajectory, not a lateral move built on potential. From Golden State's perspective, however, this is exactly the type of gamble they should be considering. Steph Curry is in the twilight of his career, and the Warriors desperately need their next franchise cornerstone. Castle fits the mold perfectly: size, defense, poise, and the ability to grow alongside Curry before eventually carrying the torch. Trading for him would be a bold swing, but one that makes sense for a team running out of time. Still, there are concerns. Giving up Podziemski, who already looks like a valuable piece, plus a first-round pick, isn't cheap. And for San Antonio, moving a Rookie of the Year candidate before his second season leap would send the wrong message about their rebuild philosophy. As ESPN's Brian Windhorst pointed out, unless Castle is causing locker room problems, which there's zero indication he is, there's no sense in trading him for anything short of a blockbuster. That's the reality. Castle represents the Spurs' future. The chemistry he's building with Wembanyama and fellow young guard Dylan Harper is simply too valuable. Coach Greg Popovich has praised Castle's maturity and defensive instincts, viewing him as a foundational piece who embodies Spurs culture. Unless a superstar like Giannis suddenly hits the trade market, don't expect Castle in a Warriors jersey anytime soon. So where does that leave Golden State? All eyes turn back to Steph Curry. Despite a quiet offseason filled with more questions than answers, Curry is embracing the challenge. Asked whether he can still lead a championship team at age 36, his response was calm but confident, "We'll see. I think we can." Curry pointed out that after last year's trade deadline, Golden State ranked top 3 in both offense and defense. To him, that late-season surge wasn't a fluke, it was a glimpse of their identity rediscovered. The roster may have gaps, especially with Jonathan Kuminga's contract situation freezing all other moves, but Curry refuses to see weakness. Instead, he sees opportunity. The Warriors remain the only team in the league to make 0 additions this summer. Analysts call it risky. Fans call it concerning. Curry? He calls it a beautiful challenge. And if history has taught us anything, it's this: doubt him at your own risk.